Hi, so we're going to be going ahead and taking our MG Midget bumpers and we're going to glitter them, okay? And the way we're going to do that is by sanding it down very lightly, and then we're going to go over the top of that with one of the gray scrubber pads. You can get them at automotive places, sometimes at paint stores, depends. The gray one is one that has a nice tooth, but it won't hurt the finish. We're then going to use a spray paint that is specially made for bumpers, and we're going to put that over the top. We're going to go ahead and spray it black so it's got a nice, good finish on it, and then we're going to go ahead and mix the glitter into the urethane. So we're going to go ahead and sand this, and then we'll go from there. Hey, Hunt, you going to help me? I doubt it. I'm going to go ahead and give it a good washing. Make sure it's completely dry. And then we're going to go ahead and use SEM bumper coater. This is the product here. You can get it online or at really good auto supply places. It's excellent. It's a really good product. It really sticks well. It covers nicely. It coats rubber, but it also coats plastic. So if you're not totally sure what your bumper is, whether it's a plastic or a rubber, this generally will do both. Now, of course, test it before you go spraying your bumper. Do it on like the underside or something. Give it a test. And it's a flexible black, so it allows you to spray it over the top. Still gives a certain amount of flexibility, so if somebody was to tap your car, or if you're installing it and there's a certain amount of flexibility to these bumpers, it won't crack. Okay, so that's terrific. And then what we're going to do is go ahead and coat it with Stroke of Midnight, which is a metallic polyester, and it's solvent resistant and epoxy coated. So it absolutely loves to be sprayed in epoxies and also in urethanes. And that's what we're going to go ahead and do. Sometimes you've seen me do spray paint as an adhesive. There's a couple things that I don't like about that. One is it dries really fast, so you don't have a lot of working time. But also, two, because this particular paint comes out of a spray can, you can't really control it. It comes out quite wide. So if you were spraying it and then putting glitter on, like shaking it on or brushing it on, and then you spray it again, your overspray would spray over your glitter and make it less sparkly, and that would be terrible, especially if you're using a different color other than black. So in our case, what we're going to go ahead and do is once we have the bumper all cleaned up, spray base coated with this, we're going to go ahead and mix our glitter into the urethane, and we're actually going to spray the glitter and the urethane on together for maybe one, maybe two coats, depending on how sparkly it looks after the first coat. And then we're going to go ahead and do 2, 3, 4, 5, who knows how many coats, until we get that beautiful high gloss shine over the top of it. Hey there, so I have gone ahead and sanded and scrubbed and primed the bumpers of the MG Midget, and we are at the stage where we are going to glitter it. The way we're going to do it is go ahead and do a 2-part urethane mixed with glitter. I'm going to spray it on. The glitters we're choosing to use are Stroke of Midnight and the iridescent called Atlas Dazzle. It's got a little bit of a violet to it, so it should look really, really nice amongst the black. Now, the one thing to keep in mind is if you are going to use some of these really sparkly iridescents and holographic glitters on your car, it may not be roadworthy any longer. The cops may pull you over because it's too bright. So definitely check with your local district, see what their filling is on glitter. I personally think that the bumpers being Stroke of Midnight, which is our black, is probably going to be totally fine. And the amount of iridescent I'm using is so small, I don't think there can be any concern. But nevertheless, this is not going to be an everyday driving car. It's a parade car, so it doesn't really matter. We're not going to be driving it around all the time, just once or twice a year for parades. So please choose the glitters you use wisely. Do a little research so that you don't end up ruining your car and having to sandblast it and then getting it professionally painted because you used a glitter that's not street legal. Okay, I've gone ahead and sprayed the first coat of glitter because the glitter has it's a 008, okay, 0.008 glitter, and it has, the aperture of the spray gun has to be 3 to 4 times bigger, okay? So when you crank it down to a really fine mist, it makes it almost too small for the glitter to pass through. So you have to back it off. It means you're putting more urethane down than you want to. So that first coat actually is sometimes kind of heavy, and that's not ideal. It would be ideal to put your first coat down very light. So make sure you check for drips. It's really important. Because it's glitter, you're not going to have the opportunity to sand like most people would. They'd sand between coats. You don't have that opportunity, so you got to get it right the first time. So keep a brush handy. And if you see drips, only if they're real drips. If you don't like the surface look, don't touch it. But if it's an actual drip, go ahead and lightly brush it off. Otherwise, go ahead and let it get tacky, and then go for your second coat. If you want it to be more glittery, go for a second coat of glitter, which is what I'm doing. And then go ahead and follow it up with as many coats as you want until you get the look that you like of straight sealer without glitter. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and seal up the tent so we don't get bugs, and go ahead and let it dry a little bit and do my second coat. Hey there! So the bumpers are finally done. I went ahead and did 5 coats total, and they're looking pretty good. They're going to go ahead and dry overnight, and probably won't be installed for 5 days. I'm kind of big on letting that that sealer really cure, and it is a full 5-day cure on that. So sometimes I push it and start working with it around 2 or 3 days. But when you put a bumper back on, you have to really handle it. So I highly recommend waiting the 5 days so that when the guys get the grease on it and stuff, you can clean it off. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you what they look like installed, and hope you give it a try.